All right, guys, I'm excited tonight. I got a really good message for you guys. But I want to open up with something I feel is important to tell you guys. I think that every man and woman, once they come to Christ, should have a testimony, their life, and how they came to Christ as a testimony. And so tonight I would like to share with you guys my testimony. What God did for me, how He brought me into His fold, how He called me out of the wilderness. It's kind of interesting. You guys know I like to tell my stories anyway of my youth, and this one comes right out of my youth. So here it goes. Here's my testimony, guys. Grew up in the state of Washington, and me and my brothers were kind of a ragtag, and my sister were a ragtag bunch of kids. We were rough, we were dirty, we had fun, and life was good. Life was good. We lived on a little street called Cedar Street, and it was a great place. Well, in that neighborhood, there was a very beautiful White House that lived next door. Mrs. Mostu owned that house for her husband. And Mrs. Mostus one day saw us out in the backyard playing in the trees, playing in the dirt, playing in the mud, and she looked at us and decided that the holes in our jeans, the dirt on our face, the rough around the edges that we were, that we needed to learn about God and be in church, especially on Sunday mornings. And so she would come over and talk to my mom and invited us to Sunday service. It was awesome. We got to go to church. She made sure she was there. We always got fresh cookies at the end after church. And in time, I started realizing what it was, the message that I was supposed to be getting from church, from Sunday school. I realized that Christ had died for my sins and that I needed to accept Him as my Lord and Savior. And I did. I accepted Him in that little Baptist church in our town. But I would like to tell you the story ends there, but it really didn't. I'd like to tell you that I was saved, and I've been always saved, and that I've lived a great life, and that I went on to do all the amazing, grand things that God asked me to do. But I would be lying if I told you that was true. See, the Baptist church where I was raised, I was taught that once saved, always saved. And in my heart, I believed that was an open ticket to go ahead and sin. Because it didn't matter what I did, God will allow me to go to heaven. I'm telling you guys, that's the furthest from the truth. I went down a bad path. And for many years, I lived a life that was not very godly. But God shook me. In 1996, God bounced me off of my head, literally bounced me off my head. I was in an accident in Augusta, Georgia, at a paper plant, doing some cleaning with high-pressure water, when I was picked up and slammed on the back, literally on the back of my head. I knocked a hole in the back of my head. I cracked my skull from the back of the hole forward to my temple. And I went to the hospital. And I was in bed for 2 months. And I kept asking God, why is it that you just didn't let me die? And He told me that He had a plan for me, a bigger plan, that I needed to get my life straight with Him again, get my life in the godly order, because there was 4 amazing young people, my sons, my daughter is my son, that I needed to raise, and I needed to raise them in a godly home. And so I did. I set forth to do that. And God blessed me with more sons and daughters, for a total of 7 altogether. He's allowed me to go back to school. He's given me a plan in my life to teach young people like you, and eventually adults, His ways, His path to salvation. And I just thank Him for that. And so that's my testimony for you guys. Don't think that when you get saved, that you're always saved and it's a free ticket to sin. Get right with God every day. Take your life and take it before God and ask Him to forgive you so that you can start every day fresh. Because God's got an amazing path for you guys, amazing plan for you guys, and I don't want you ever to fall off the path. I want you to go forward and do God's will